I think one of the things that perhaps we can do in some of these sessions is obviously there's short-term and long-term issues, aren't there? So there's the things that are happening now in your everyday work where perhaps you might find it helpful just to reflect in our sessions. Yeah. And then there are things that perhaps in the longer term, like you've mentioned, you're not quite sure necessarily where your career's going, but we could look at the longer term issues.
Yeah, be interested in your views. Yeah.
I will obviously leave that to you because it's very much up to you to set the scene and to set the pace as to how you want to discuss that. Okay. But in terms of the here and now, you said one of the things was about influencing people to change who were perhaps a bit reluctant. Is that one of the things that is an issue for you at the moment, or are there other particular topics?
It's my first real concern that I've had on the course so far, and with my secondment. I've got to influence people, hopefully, who I have not really direct responsibility for. No. And we've been having sessions on the course about barriers to learning. Right. And as I do, I've sort of sat there thinking about that a little bit. Yeah. And some of the issues that we've been discussing, I've seen happening in practice. Right. A couple of people on the wards, they don't particularly value the professional development, the theory aspects of things. There's quite an ethos or a culture of practitioner is best. It's the number of years you've been on the job, not what study that you've done. And I feel they're a bit. People are becoming more technicians as opposed to of a practitioner. Yes. And there's a couple of people I can think of in particular. I don't know how I'm going to be able to approach, discuss, and try and get them looking at more theoretical perspectives, more practitioner-based activities, which is obviously quite important for my role and the success of the secondment. Yes. So one of the initial things I'd like to discuss with you is overcoming some of those barriers.
I have to say that all feels very familiar to me.
Really?
And there's sort of positions I've been in the past, situations I've been in the past. What would be very wrong of me is to tell you how I dealt with it, and then you go away and use exactly the same technique.
But it might work.
Well, it might, but it might not. I think the thing to do is that I can share some of my experience with you, but the idea would be for us to work through that particular issue. Right. And I think, if you like, a mentor's a bit of a devil's advocate. So I'm likely to say things like, well, why do you think they're thinking that? Yeah. What is it that's stopping them wanting to do it this way or that way? Yeah. And, you obviously you're quite analytical, so I'm sure that actually will come quite naturally to you. Yeah. And as I said, I don't mind sharing my experience, but this isn't instructional. It's about development. It's about you developing your coping strategies, your ways of working for yourself. Okay. And if that's something that you want to work on, perhaps we could take that as our next session.
Yeah, I think that'd be really useful. Yeah.